Happy Arvo. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's election season down under. And I find that interesting. I find it fascinating. I figure I might as well react to this type of stuff, while the time is right. The election's coming up. I'm interested. Peter Dutton versus Anthony Albanese. I mean, I have been watching this, and I was pretty shocked to see, this kind of seismic shift in the odds here. Granted, it's still very close. It's been very close, but Dutton had a lead, and now all of a sudden Albanese has a lead just in the last week. I don't know exactly what prompted that. I mean, I saw the same thing. I guess it's kind of interesting. Did I already say this? I might have already said this, but I saw this in Canada as well. Canada. Same kind of shift where it went from Pierre to Mark. From right to left. And it's probably, do you think it's because Trump has pissed off the whole world so much that like right-leaning candidates or right candidates are hurting? Regardless, I just want to know more about, catch up on the candidates. This was published just a day ago by ABC News Australia. Check them out. Link down below. Small and up-and-coming YouTube channel. Although be warned, ABC is an Australian public broadcast service. So I just want to see what, catch up on it all. This is Anthony Albanese versus Peter Dutton as Australia votes. Are you guys already voting? Like early voting? Like what does that mean as Australia votes? Whatever. All right, let's do it.
Two political warriors, Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton.
Oh, wow. They've been doing this a long time.
Are veterans of the parliament.
Especially, I feel like Dutton. He looks very young there. What is he like? Is he even 30 there? Jeez.
Dutton are veterans of the parliament and leading lights of the left and right.
This is a government that has a history of lying.
People in Canberra want to obsess on these sorts of matters.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. He kind of, in some way, reminds me of Elon Musk right here, which is a major knock against him. I'm not gonna lie. Right now, that's just a knock. I'm not a Musk fan right now. Just because I don't like, rich people buying their place in government. It just doesn't seem right. Does that seem right to anybody? Apparently, it does to some people. To me, that doesn't sit right. Anyway. I'm being a bit facetious. Just because he reminds me of Elon Musk is not an actual knock. Although I will say, and I always like to say, I'm not a political guy, okay? All I want is for whoever you guys want to be prime minister to win, which will happen because you guys, you guys are, it's mandatory voting, so it's literally going to happen. So that's good. But with that said, Albanese is a more likable guy. Is that even like a controversial statement? Peter Dutton, I'd say you can see it in his eyes there. He just isn't, he doesn't like have an emotional connection, I feel like. Which is honestly not necessarily a bad thing objectively, but just as far as winning a Democratic race, that seems like a major issue.
People in Canberra want to obsess on these sorts of matters. Then go ahead.
Both men lean on their origin stories. Anthony Albanese, the boy who grew up in social housing, learned politics at uni, and landed in federal parliament.
I grew up in public housing in the inner city of Sydney as the son of a pensioner.
I do have to say, and I hate to interfere with what he was saying, but it's always been just a little bit funny to me, the idea of studying politics, just because politics is such a nasty, dirty game of lying and false promises and backstabbing, and it's like, I don't know exactly what do you study? Do you study history, or do you just study like talking points? I guess studying like the structure of government, that makes sense. And how elections work and all that, you know?
Boy who grew up in social housing, learned politics at uni, and landed in federal parliament.
I grew up in public housing in the inner city of Sydney as the son of a pensioner.
Peter
Like, to me, that says more about him than the fact that he studied at university. Unlike most careers, you know, most careers you want to say, oh, you studied at university for this trade. That's great. That's a huge thumbs up. For politics, it's like, okay.
Dutton, the former police officer who took his law and order cause to Canberra.
Now, I've seen the sickening behaviour displayed by people, frankly, who barely justify their existence in our sometimes over-tolerant society.
Now they're taking
Damn. That was pretty harsh.
their differing visions of a
But I mean, it is true, isn't it? There are some people out there who fits that description absolutely. He's damn right about that. There's some messed up people.
Australia's future.
I mean, I'm thinking, should I even say what I'm thinking? I guess I'll say there was a story in the news here, just like pretty recently. This is gruesome, by the way. But this dude, this dad, who lives in the region near me, he left his baby in a crib in a rat-infested house and went to work. And the baby got nibbled up by rats. Sorry, I mean, that is absolutely appalling. But that's what that reminded me of. It's like, yeah, some people really don't deserve much, do they? They don't deserve to, well, breathe our air. Anyway, sorry.
Of Australia's future into a contest for the highest office in the land.
My government has always been focused on making Australians' lives better.
Our country has really suffered because of bad decisions of the Albanese government. I want to get our country back on track.
Okay, I hate to be like superficial once again, but I have to say, he should like, he has a bit of a mouth breathing look about him as well, where it's like, it would be better if he, you know, breathed with his mouth closed sometimes. I don't know. This is stupid. Let's move on.
Bad decisions
I retract everything I'm saying.
of the Albanese government. I want to get our country back on track.
And there's some pretty tough people around this hall today.
That's Albanese?
Before
Looks like freaking Paul McCartney.
Before taking office, Anthony Albanese had spent 20 years in Parliament, with a reputation as a political brawler.
I like fighting Tories. That's what I do. That's what I do.
I'm not going to lie, I don't even know what a Tory is. I'm about to find out. Tories, Conservative Party. British political party. Okay. Is that still what you guys call conservatives over there down under? But okay, I got you. Tories. Conservative Party.
And parliamentary wrangler.
Are we doing the group hug?
He kept the fight up
The bells toll for the Morrison government.
all the way to the Prime Minister's office.
Together, we begin the work of building a better future.
His first term has seen remarkable highs
We're pro-panda and pro-lobster.
and crushing lows.
While to
Yeah, I feel like he's been battle tested, hasn't he? What year was he elected? 2022.
tonight's result is not one that I had hoped for. I absolutely respect the decision of the Australian people.
The PM is still trying to write the story of this term of government.
What is the headline achievement that the true believers will be looking back on with pride in 20 years?
Keeping us out of recession, 1.1 million jobs, getting inflation from a 6 to a 2.
Anthony Albanese took office planning for at least 2 terms. He's talked about the patient work of ensuring lasting change, arguing Labor needs more time to get more done. A Labor loss would be historic. The first time in more than a century a party has lost government after just 1 term.
Oh, wow. That's pretty remarkable.
Peter Dutton knows that whatever
A whole century. Man, that's interesting. You guys kind of stick with what you like. That's kind of impressive. You know, like here in America, it's like we just flip-flop every 4 years. It feels like, well, I mean, there's a lot of recency bias to that, but, you know, that's how it's felt. The last 2 elections were that way. Although it's kind of funny because before that, yeah, most presidents got, 8 years. It felt more stable that way. That's a good thing. It definitely feels more stable when there's not so much volatility and flipping left and right and left and right. Just shows that people are lost, People are upset and lost here in America.
Whatever the polls say, history is against him. But the opposition leader would love to chart a new political path. For much of his political career, Peter Dutton has been the hard man. He rose to national prominence as Minister for Immigration and Home Affairs.
This government has stopped the boats, and that doesn't mean that the problem has gone away.
Willing to take a tough stance. From a family of Tamil asylum seekers living in Biloela,
I would like the family to accept that they are not refugees, that they're not owed protection by our country.
to deporting convicted criminals born in New Zealand.
If we kick them out of our country, we're a better country for those people having left.
In 2018, Peter Dutton
This is just fascinating to me. Just, he kind of reminds me of Pierre from Canada a little bit. And it's just interesting that in both countries, I already said this, but it's just something I just keep thinking about. They're kind of, for lack of a more, better term that wouldn't piss a bunch of people off, they're kind of like the Donald Trumps of their respective countries. And of course, there's plenty of differences. But, that's being kind of unpopularized right now around the world.
made his first tilt for the Liberal leadership.
It's nice to be in front of the cameras where I can smile.
A couple of failed attempts later, and he landed in the party's top job after the 2022 election.
By the time of the next election in 2025, we will have presented a plan to the Australian people which will clean up Labor's inevitable mess and lay out our own vision.
A decision to oppose the Voice set the tone.
If you don't know, vote no, because this is the biggest change to our constitution in our country's history.
As opposition leader, Peter Dutton has been very happy to oppose. Outside of politics, he's done well in business, and Labor has questioned contentious share trades in the days before a 2009 bank bailout.
I've been successful in business, and I actually think that's a good attribute to have.
It's so funny how connected the whole world is. 2009 bank bailout. Could be talking about America. But, this is Australia.
As a leader in this country.
Two different leaders with two different pitches.
This is a time for building, for looking after people and looking to the future.
What we've demonstrated is that we have a positive plan for our country. We want to get our country back on track.
It's now up to voters
At the Opera House in the back.
to decide who is right for the time.
Wow. I feel like this is a big election. And I feel like this is an absolute nail biter. Albanese it's 57-43, but to be honest, that's barely any different than a coin flip. You'd have a hard time telling if a coin was, 57% likely to hit one side and 43% likely to hit the other side. You flip it, you'd be like, I can't tell. It just looks like 50-50 to me. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is it could easily go either way. The polls must be super close. But one thing else also is obvious. Albanese getting a late surge. This will be dramatic. I think it will be dramatic. This will be fascinating to see. All right, y'all. Well, remember to get out there and vote because you have to. I don't want any of you getting arrested. I'll see you guys tomorrow.